Yo. Welcome to NS9 Postgame Show. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me is Jim Rosati. Yada, yada, yada. Pirates stink again. What's up, Jim?
I was happy that I had other stuff going on today.
Yeah.
So, I caught the second half of this game, but
did the Pirates lineup have other stuff going on today too, by the way?
They must have.
Like, were you maybe not alone?
Yeah, they must have.
This is clearly one of those games. I actually showed up a little bit late as well. Hey, kitty. So we got Fred making his appearances with Tyler. What's this? This animal's name?
This is Lucy.
Lucy.
Yeah, this is Lucy.
Lucy, can you play first base?
Lucy can play first base and probably second base too.
I bet she's got some hops.
Oh yeah.
She'd be really good at getting a ball. That's for sure. Oh man. It's just one of those games. It's so frustrating because Mitch Keller pitched his ass off today.
Mm.
And we talked his last outing. Is this possibly his best start of Mitch Keller's career? And then he has this outing today, and you're like, is this possibly the best start of Mitch Keller's career? He's had back-to-back just like really, really phenomenal starts in this entire stretch of really good starts, right? We talked about incorporating the two-seamer, and then he added into the four-seamer a little bit differently. And today, by the way, he basically didn't throw the two-seamer at all. The slider was working extremely well for him. So, Mitch Keller seems to be doing different things. It's like almost every start. And every start, it almost seems it's a little more impressive. Or even if it's not more impressive, he's just continuing this great stretch. And so, you want to watch a Pirates game because of a lot of these starting pitchers right now. But man, oh man, even with that alone, these games are so frustrating to watch.
Yeah, he looked great tonight. No earned runs, 6 innings. He went more, four-seam heavy today, four-seam slider today. Didn't really use the sinker very much. I think he only threw 4 of them, if I'm counting correctly on here.
Yep, 4.
So, yeah, real heavy with the fastball slider. But it was effective. He's been great. Mike Persak tweeted out, we were talking on Thursday about just the rotation and how they've looked since some tweaks being made. And so since May 30th, when he rejoined the rotation, we're now at a 3.40 ERA for Mitch Keller since rejoining the rotation. He's been good. The whole rotation's been good. And that, we're kind of running into this same old thing every game now. Most of our losses, you're seeing good starts for the most part. It's just the offense is just doing nothing.
Literally. It's terrible. Now, obviously, Brian Reynolds being on the shelf doesn't help, right? It's a big part of your offense, and he's out.
Definitely doesn't help. Yeah.
But it's just it's just amazing how one player has such an effect. But ultimately, Jack Sawinski had a cold stretch. He's sent down as well. That was one of your top 3 players. And you got the crop of guys coming back from the IL, and we have to give time to Yoshi. You got to give time to Josh VanMeter. You have to give time to these guys. They must start 60% of the time, Jim. So when you have a lot of bad players forced into this lineup, well, here you go. Sorry, Mitch Keller. Sorry, JT Brubaker. Sorry, Zach Thompson. Sorry, Q. He's had back-to-back, poor starts.
Yeah.
But it's just man. You just give these starting pitchers no hope whatsoever when they take that mound.
I think Yoshi Tsutsugo today had 2 occasions where, like, he hit the ball as hard as he could
in Colorado.
And both balls were, 50 feet away from being home runs.
Right. Yeah.
Yoshi, actually, that last at bat, that was a barrel.
That that did come. It didn't hit the warning track, but it actually that was close. But again, you're talking about like, hey guys, like Yoshi's hitting the warning track now. Come on, this is not something we need to celebrate.
I don't want to see him again. Like, if he's on this team past the All-Star break, then I don't want to watch. Like, he's enough to make me just want to just break things. I don't want to see him anymore. He's terrible. He's the worst first baseman I've ever seen.
Do you mean it like defensively or just all around?
Just all around
game. Yeah.
All
okay.
around.
I was gonna say what we keep saying. Like, it's not his fault. He's the worst first baseman. But then you talk about all around, like, so he's a DH, and like, well, he can't hit at all. So if he's the worst first baseman, he's probably the worst DH you've ever seen in your life, also. So like, it doesn't help him out anywhere either.
Like, bring back Jeff Clement. I'd rather have Jeff Clement at this point.
That's sad, but yes. Yeah.
God.
That's what I'm getting. I don't understand the whole, we got to showcase these guys. No one, not one soul is going to trade for Yoshi, is going to trade for Josh VanMeter. So like, just cut your ties.
Unless you're showcasing Yoshi to like trade him to a team over in Japan, that's literally the only reason to showcase him for anything. Trade him to Japan for cash. $50, whatever.
$50. Yeah, I don't know.
What do they use over there? Yen.
I was thinking, is it yen? I couldn't remember.
Give us 50 yen for Yoshi, and he's yours.
Yeah, I'm if we get 50 yen, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
that's a plus. That's positive value. But I'm so over Yoshi, like you said. And then Josh VanMeter again. Like, I just don't understand. And obviously, like, this loss isn't on Josh VanMeter by any means. But I mean, you come in, there's 2 outs. By some means, a person on this earth decided we have 1 out left. I'm going to designate Josh VanMeter to come into the game to hit. He's a pinch hitter. I mean, just go with Marisnik. I'm sorry, just go with Marisnik. Why are you picking Josh VanMeter to come in? So he comes in there and looking like me in Little League, just praying to get a walk, right? That's what he did. You just saw 6 pitches go by him. 7.
It was a pathetic plate appearance. Like, he got the 3-1, and then he was just like, I'm going to walk.
Yeah, that was it. He was just praying for a walk.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. I mean, he's just pathetic. And yet, he's got to start 60% of the games.
No, he's terrible. Like, he's so bad. Like, I don't want to see any of these players anymore. I don't want to see Yoshi. I don't want to see VanMeter. I'm not going to get, like, super upset with Kevin Newman in there, I guess. Like, I'd rather see Newman in there than VanMeter. But
the thing about him is, at least, this is like the catching situation. At least he does something well, and that's the defense.
Yeah.
Not that he's a good player. It's not advocating to keep, Kevin Newman for the rest of his career in Pittsburgh, whatever. But, like, at least he does something well. There's literally not one thing that those other two do well. I mean, we saw Josh VanMeter just drop a pop-up last night. Like, he doesn't defensively. I mean, he doesn't know where first base is even at half the time. Tag it to get the out. Like, he doesn't do anything well. Not one thing. Same with Yoshi. Besides getting outs, they did that fantastically. Currently, Josh VanMeter, 55 weighted runs created plus. He's batting 185. His on base is 248, which screams leadoff hitter to me. Slugging 304.
And he plays every day.
60% of the time.
I mean, he plays every day. Because even when he doesn't start, he pinch hits in like
the okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
He plays every day.
Mm-hmm. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
But we digress. Let's move on. There's other things we can hate right now. Maybe we're not done with Mitch Keller. Let's go back to Mitch Keller because again, you brought up the pitches, right? But let's maybe talk a little more about that. Like what seems to have saved Mitch Keller this year was the incorporation of the two-seamer. You know, like once that started, he seemed much different. And then I believe it was the Yankees that outing that he started throwing the four-seamer a little bit more?
Yeah.
Or was that another game?
I think it was the Yankees game.
I know it was you and Tyler on. So that looked good. It was a little bit different, you know? And so, again, it seemed like the two-seamer was kind of reviving his career here. And then today in Colorado, which, by the way, and if you listen to last night's show, I said I was very worried about today's game with Mitch Keller in Colorado. I wouldn't be surprised if he got lit up. And he just went out there and said, well, I'm just not going to throw this to the two-seamer today. And he threw the four-seamer, like you said, the slider, and the slider looked really, really good. In Colorado, the slider had the most movement than his normal averages for the year. Like he looked really, really good. And again, like this was something different. So I don't know, man. Like I'm just loving everything I see. And I don't know, like this closing the finished product. Like he's still working on things. And I'm just so encouraged by him.
No, he's looked pretty good since rejoining the rotation. Even just the way like he's attacking hitters, the stuff, the pitch selection, everything looks pretty good with him since end of May. And again, I think like I said, we talked about it on Thursday, like all these starting pitchers are pitching well. Mitch Keller didn't deserve to lose today. I mean, but yeah, no, the slider, you mentioned the slider, more break today than it has all years. It broke on average 3 inches more today than it did all year long. Yeah, the sinker, I'm not sure what it was about the sinker that he just kind of scrapped it today. He only threw 4 of them. Could have been he just didn't like the way it felt coming out of his hand. And so he was like, we're just not going to throw this today. And he was able to utilize his other pitches and be effective with them. Yeah, but something with that sinker, he kind of just wasn't feeling it today. He must have just not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is it a game plan thing? Is it just that? I mean, you know, again, like you're going to Colorado. Yeah, maybe he just wanted to avoid contact.
Yeah, I mean, it could have just been one of those things where he was throwing his pregame warm-up pitches and in the bullpen, and he was like, I don't really like the way the sinker's looking today. Well, I'm sure somebody will ask him kind of why he only threw 4.
Yeah,
like they're trying to get an explanation on that.
That's cool. I'm sure someone will.
But yeah, no, a great outing. We talked about his last start, about how it may have been the best he's ever looked, and again today against another team with, you know, Colorado's got better hitters than Miami does, and he did great against them. Yeah, I mean, going into the All-Star break now, feeling pretty good about Mitch Keller.
Yeah. Yep. Going also break. And like the number itself isn't exciting, but understand where it was beforehand. Like he's now at a 4.55 ERA. To understand where he was in the middle of May, that's dropping down a lot. And you said the numbers, right? I mean, he's in low threes, whatever. But like, yeah, he's certainly doing well. What a fantastic turnaround, I guess. You know, like what he's doing right now, how more comfortable you feel with this rebuild and this starting pitching staff, knowing that Mitch Keller clearly could definitely be part of it. And yes, so Walker Steele says, I'm from England and I stay up to watch this team practically every game. I worry about my sanity. So do I.
Walker, shout out to you, because you're what is that? It's 4 hours ahead of us.
I think 5.
4 or 5 hours ahead of us. Yeah, you're a real one.
And this was an early game. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Shout out to Walker.
For sure. Okay, so Mitch Keller's gone. Well, not gone, but we're over him. We're over some of this bad offense. What else do you want to talk about today?
O'Neal Cruz hit 2 balls over 100 miles an hour. That ball in the ninth inning was 114 miles an hour. He just hit it right into the ground. As soon as he hit it, I was like, he crushed it. Then I saw the number. He did make his first costly error, I feel like, today. Because he had made a few errors earlier in the year, but I feel like today's was the first one that really came back to bite the team. I mean, at the end of the day, we scored 0 runs, so it ultimately didn't matter. But he did kind of throw a ball nowhere near first base on a routine ground ball to short, but it is what it is. So you're going to get that with him. Connor says here, ban the shift. And Cruz is definitely, I feel like, because he's hitting a lot of balls hard up the middle, and they're getting scooped up by a shifted shortstop. So he is getting shifted quite a bit there. He had, I think, two hits today that probably would have been hits, and he had a ball off the wall.
Yep.
If he would have been under that just a little bit more, that would have been nice. But yeah, there's not much of positive things to talk about here.
No.
Daniel Vogelbach, 3 walks. Dude just keeps putting together good plate appearances after good plate appearances.
Yeah, he's got a really good eye. He is selective. He sees a lot of pitches. He draws a lot of walks, but he's not up there looking like Josh VanMeter praying to walk. I mean, he does damage with the bat also. Very good hitter, especially against righties, as we mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, if the ball is not in the strike zone, he's not swinging.
No.
He does not swing at balls.
And I pity that ump if he calls it a strike.
Yeah. He'll do that whole.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, outside that. So just going back to the O'Neal Cruz throw, though, that definitely was the first throw we've seen all year where it was bad. He's made some other questionable ones, and we talk about Chavis, like his defense. That wasn't getting saved by Chavis by any means. So if you didn't watch this game, that thing sailed. I mean, it was probably, 15 feet in the air?
I didn't get to see it. That was before I put the game on.
Oh, that was right. Yeah.
It was right before I put the game on.
Yeah.
But yeah, according to the tweets that I saw, it was pretty bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So that was like the first a really, really, really bad throw. We've seen some questionable throws. A lot get picked up, of course, with Yoshi. None of them picked up. But this one was bad. And that's what you're going to get with Cruz. We understand that. Hopefully he can clean that up some. But again, we see what he does off or defensively in the field as well with Glove. But yeah, offensively, this team had 6 total hits. 2 came from Heineman. Just to kind of put out there, this whole Heineman delay, now that delay is here, it came true. Michael Perez is in AAA, so it is Heineman and delay. So far between these two, what more could you really ask for? They are actually putting up some offense. The defense, and Heineman actually, he had some really good framing. He had some really good framing jobs today.
If you would have told me that the Pirates catcher situation on July 16th was going to be a platoon of Tyler Heineman and Jason Delay, I would have thought that's not good. And it still isn't good.
Right.
Let's be real here. Neither of them are good, but I guess they're holding their own. They're doing better than you would have thought a Tyler Heineman, Jason Delay combo would be doing.
No, I'm with you in the sense if you told me that right in May.
Yeah.
I'm just even more frustrated than I ever am. But they're almost kind of like a highlight now to this team outside of the pitching.
I'm not complaining about them.
No. Well, they both look competent defensively for sure. But I will just mention it is kind of it's pleasant that they are producing some offense, which none of them really do. So, yeah, I guess outside of that, just getting to also the bullpen. So they kind of De Los Santos. It's not that I'm down on him, but he didn't have a great game today.
De Los Santos really since coming up, but he still minimized damage. He gave up the 1 run, but yeah, he got out of it. He stranded the runner on third. And then, I mean, what can you say about Chase DeYoung? The results are there.
Yeah,
I'm actually curious to see if there would be a team interested in trading for DeYoung. I mean, if somebody's willing to give you anything for Chase DeYoung, I think you got to kind of jump on it. So we'll see how that goes.
For Chase DeYoung, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
For almost any reliever, especially at this point, because again, I don't think this team's really going to compete next year.
They have to do
I don't think they're truly going to really try to get to the point that they could be competing. So, especially a reliever like DeYoung, I'm not holding him for next year and then holding him for another year to hope he's good. So, if you're getting something from this year, like, bye. That's where I'm at. Go ahead, get your return. You're able to flip Chase DeYoung. That's a W, as small as it is.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't think there's too much more to talk about. Again, just a frustrating game. But hey, there's only one more till the break and then one more until the MLB draft, which takes place tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow. Yeah, we got plans tomorrow.
We do. That involves Pirates baseball.
And the draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the last game in Colorado followed almost immediately by the MLB draft. Pirates will be on the clock at number 4. We'll be live. Come check us out for the North Shore 9 MLB draft show.
So I mean, watch the draft on your TV or wherever you watch your sports. Have our live show up, simultaneously, and we'll be giving our live reactions to everything in the in a way that you all want to see it in the eyes of Pirates fans, and yeah, go from there.
Right. Yeah, I'm with that.
Your show was super fun.
Promise no hot takes of every player's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Like if you watch MLB.
That's one thing. So like when Harold Reynolds is out there saying, this guy reminds me of insert Hall of Famer, we're not gonna do that. Unless it's the Pirates pick, then we'll do it for the Pirates pick.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. But nope. Sorry, Anthony. We won't be broadcasting from the Pirates draft room. Apologize. We couldn't get the credentials for this year, but maybe next year.
Yeah, one of these days.
Ben watched one of our shows. He's like, "No, you guys aren't coming in here."
Tyler would probably punch him.
Right. But let's get out of here. Thank you all for watching. Go ahead, as usual, like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you tomorrow after the game for the draft. So, bye-bye.
See you guys.